Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games. This time starting with the Crossroads 7 from Malifaux. A special box set starting with Wrath, Golden Skin 09092. So I did upgrade my program. I'm trying a bunch of new things. We're just going to see what happens. With any luck, this will help me improve these videos. But the group that came to be known as the Crossroads 7 were simply musical performers wandering Malifaux, plying their trade where they went, until one fateful night in the crowd were a man and woman, one in black, the other in red. And to each of the 7 they made a promise and collected one in return. And the town of Crossroads, where this occurred in, was more or less demolished in the aftermath of this, with the 7 leaving, each one of them embodying one of the 7 deadly sins. Wrath, the band's leader and vocalist, at least in the second edition, is a henchman type model. And, well, the 7 can't really stand each other under normal circumstances and wander the land independently. Okay, next up, where is it? 09164, Dark Elf Skin. Oh boy, I see some of the glitches I have are still around, but we can do something about that as I move on. But when the moons of Malifaux align, the band gets back together, and whatever town they happen to do this to reunite in pays the price. Because while someone might be able to resist 1 or 2 of the sins that the Crossroads 7 represent, nobody can resist all of them. Now, with all the faction changes, I have no idea where the Crossroads 7 are going to end up, but Wrath in the this incarnation is Neverborn faction, but he has the ability to lead a full-size crew that contains all 7 members of his group. Alright, well, trying to make sure I get the back seat of his pants here. And that's going to have to do for now, so let that dry, move on a bit. Alright. Let's see if I can get through this without any drop frames. Oiled leather 09110. Well, I'm tracking the lid here. This is going on the belt. Pretty much just the belt and the boots. This is another model where the hand. So I keep the towel on hand. Anyway, this is another model where doing a partial assembly first may be prudent. I just prefer not to do that. What does make this a little trickier. But my decision to do it this way. I encourage you to make your own based on your skill level and what you feel like doing. So Malifaux is based on an alternate Earth, for those of you who don't know, where magic actually existed. And currently, it's about 1912 or so, about World War I. And another game that the publisher Weird Miniatures has come out with recently, The Other Side. Basically is their equivalent to World War I in this world. And now, Deep Red 09002. Wrath has a lot of jewelry and facial piercings, especially. This sort of leather choker. These cords around his arms. Now these spirits hovering around him whispering, what I'm sure terrible truths to him. I'm going to do translucent as a sort of lighting effect. So those are going to come after the shading is done. So they're just going to sit there and look ugly for now. And this band on his pant legs. Giving a little style to the front man of a particularly ominous group of misfits. Yeah, most bands, when they have a rowdy night, might wreck a hotel room. The Crossroads 5 have a rowdy night. They usually wreck a town. Alright, we'll leave that there until it dries, but that's just going to leave the silver on his jewelry and belt buckle, and then some wood for the basing here. And I can start shading. Alright, Tarnished Steel 09206. This will be used very sparingly on his piercings and jewelry. Just kind of dabbing it on there. Okay, now Shield Brown 09161. This is another custom sculpted base insert I did. Since Malifaux models no longer have any slot bases, I find giving them a custom sculpting for their basing works well for them. Just kind of call each model as I see it, trying to put them in a place where they've been most commonly encountered. In Wrath's case, the wooden paneling of a tavern or other saloon or other entertainment venue. And given his temperament, there will be blood on the dance floor at some point, I'm imagining. Now, yeah, couldn't help myself with the bad song reference there. Just about done. And that's base coats. So once that's dried up, I can start shading and get the lighting effects on his vengeful spirits behind him and go on to details. Okay, here's where it gets a bit tricky. 09205 Blackened Steel. This is going to be done as a shade, so we're going to thin it out with water into a wash. About 1 part water to 1 part paint. Because that's what you'll need in most circumstances. Here's where it gets tricky, as this bleeds out. Just carefully on the ears, throat. And here we go, the belt buckle. And then I'm going to risk trying to get the red and the brown, I think. But it is a calculated risk, so red brick 09001. This is a calculated risk because it is touching other colors that are still wet. If I can get my... There we go. Just trying to keep the caps on my paints. This might work. Tricky. Going from the highest area of them all to the lowest with the shade. The base coat and highlight. You want to go from the lowest area to the highest. That's generally going to mean the skin as the lowest, the most outer layer of clothing as the highest. Alright. And then 09109 Ruddy leather. Again, this whole thing is a calculated risk. If I don't do this just right, these colors will bleed into each other and cause some problems. Not so much problems as it will distort each other. Just one thin layer. One thin layer is all you really need, so looks like I lucked out on that, which means I can get the denim, the flesh, and the basing in one go once this dries, so that'll save some time. Okay. Golden Shadow 09091. Try my best to avoid the piercings I did earlier. Just gonna let it flow down. Don't particularly care that I'm touching the spirits at this point. I'll get fixed up soon enough when I do the when I prep for the lighting effects. Been a long day. Really tired. Okay. And Dark Elf Shadow 09163. Looks like the flesh is getting into the belt a little bit, but it should be alright. I'll go ahead and just take the brush and just absorb that a bit. Okay, let's get those pants. And I just nicked the crook of his elbow there, so I'll just absorb that. a little bit of the golden back in there. Okay, it's got it nicely. So now Woodstain Brown 09160. Trying not to touch his boots. Okay. That takes care of the shading. Once that's dry, I can prep the eyes and prep for the lighting effects. Okay. Pure white 09039. Get the eyes and start on the lighting effects. Just carefully dotting in the sclera. Now going over these vengeful spirits in the white. I nicked the boot, so a little extra water to thin that out and absorb it. If some of this ends up overflowing onto it, that'll be okay, but not on the front. If Wrath ends up looking kind of backlit by the spirits tormenting him, that's okay. I do want to keep it off of his clothing and body for the most part. Means this portion here is going to be the most difficult. But the same goes for the base. Overall, I'd like to keep this off, but if it's backlit a bit, that's okay. At this point, I'm carefully just dabbing in and around. Definitely a case where doing a partial assembly first probably would have been in my best interest if I had thought about that at the time. The Crossroads 7 have been on my table for over a year. I got them on sale long ago when a local game store basically decided they were going to stop carrying Malifaux and put just about everything they had on sale. What can I say? Up to 40% off of anything is generally a pretty good deal. So And again, I'm using excess water to thin out anything that hits a wrath in a place I'm not comfortable with. And absorbing with a paper towel. To a certain extent, this could be considered something of a cop-out to do these spirits in one color as a lighting effect, but you can paint these again any way you want to. I think I put some of these icons on the spirit's waists on upside down. I think the real question with these ghosts around Wrath is, are these what's making him so angry, or are they manifestations of his own anger? Perhaps a bit of both. Need a bit more paint, but just about there. I could hypothetically be using a larger brush, but at this stage I need to be as controlled and precise as possible. They can loosen up on the back a bit, but still need to be cautious around any areas where I could end up nicking Wrath by mistake. Again, doing that blotting. So I keep the paper towel on hand for just such an occasion. And that's got it. So let that dry. Then I can actually get the lighting in there, finish up his eyes, and then move on. Okay. Pure Black 09037. tiny bit of it to dot in the pupils of Wrath himself. Bit odd on his right eye, but that's fine, I think. Blood red 09003. I'm using 2 to 3 parts water per 1 part paint to thin it out into a wash. A bit thinner than what I use for shading, though. Going over the spirits and letting it flow on down. I'm trying to get every bit of them in this red here. What's helping is that I do have gravity on my side with this. So I am letting it flow down wherever it wants to go with this. Nick's Wrath himself in places, that's going to be okay. So I want these to be surrounding him, coating him on. So physical contact between their essence and his would be appropriate. I may go ahead and highlight. I don't usually highlight things I paint as lighting effects, but I may, in this case, with a little bit of white or metallic white. But I'll figure that out while this dries. Looks like I got it all, so let that dry and come back fresh. Start highlight, detail, and wrap up. Oh, good grief, I'm dropping frames like madness again. Holy cow. Alright, let's see about finishing this up. Golden highlight, 09093. So I went ahead and left some of the spillover from the red on purpose. Let's see if it gives me some interesting effects. Okay, I try to sweep it down. That's what's causing that weird feedback. Dry brushing, so rubbing most of the paint off on a paper towel. No water at all. Lightly dusting. I wouldn't normally worry about the back there, but enough of the red got on there, I wanted to dilute some of it. Kind of make it look like he's been in a fight and got himself a little bloodied. I generally keep gore effects to a minimum on my models, but when I saw this happening, I decided to roll with it because it seems kind of appropriate for him. Then Dark Elf Highlight 09165. I need to play around with this program a little more, but I think this is helping some of the issues I've had. Well, it didn't work out as well as I hoped it would, but it's what I think. Okay. Burnt Orange 09111. Highlighting generally goes pretty quick because the paint dries almost instantly. Not quite, but almost. Just lightly dusting the area to be affected. Blood Red again, 09003. Deciding if I want to do any highlights on the spirits wall column. Let's see. And for highlighting, you want a raggedy, feathered-looking brush. You want to go against edges whenever possible. Just catch on the raised areas. And leave the recessed areas alone. Let's see, where is it? True Silver 09207. Just a little of this. I think the tiniest brush I've got for this. I can get a grip on it. There we go. Okay. So now Driftwood Brown 09162. This is unfortunately running out. I can't replace it. I expected this. The red got into the highlighting on the, or shading on the floor. Left a sort of blood-stained look there to it. Which, again, it's actually kind of appropriate for Wrath. Since this very name implies fury and violence, having a bit of blood spatter is kind of appropriate. And I think I will give the ghosts a quick once-over with a little pure white 09039. I don't think I'm going to go too hard on that, but let's see where's an appropriate brush. This should work. I think just a quick white dusting. You know what? I'm going to do this kind of the interior here, like that, with this brush. And then switch to a larger one. To more rapidly hit the exterior. That's not bad. Okay. All I need to do is take pure black 09037. Now I use mostly round brushes, but for this last step, I will be using a flat one. And just going around the edge of the base. Now, again, I used to do faction-specific colors, and with all the changes to factions in 3rd edition, I'm just not going to bother anymore. I'll just do them all, just pure straight black, and that's going to be fine. But I'm probably not going to go back and repaint all the other models I've already completed. Always clean your brushes out thoroughly. Even if it seems like you're getting rough with them when you're cleaning them, it'll help them last longer. And there we go. Wrath from the Crossroads 7. Alright, gonna continue with the rest of his band. Until next time, I'm Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, signing out.